In today's video, I'll discuss who I believe will be the top 8 defenders for Supercoach 2022. So basically the criteria is at the end of the season, past the bye rounds, these are the, in order, which players I'd want in my team. So a little bit more lenient on durability, but nonetheless, we'll speak about that. If you haven't seen our Facebook page at Fantasy Take TV, please give us a like if you don't mind. Doing a few write-ups on that Facebook page exclusively on Facebook. So I did a big write-up on Jaden Coleman the other day and a few more to come. So yeah, you only see that on our Facebook page. But yeah, thanks to those who have liked that so far. But yeah, straight away we'll get into it. So my top 8 defenders. So number 1 is Aaron Hall, which I did a list a few weeks ago, but it has changed a little bit. So this is my list as it stands. But number 1, Aaron Hall. The ceiling's too high. Reading training reports, it sounds like he's doing the exact same thing as 2021. Being their main distributor of halfback, and I think Aiden Core is coming back, so they might share a bit more kickouts, him, Zeeble, and Core. Not too sure, but that's something we might be able to see in the preseason. So, look, not much to say on Aaron Hall. His ceiling's huge, the way he scores, the way he plays. Until I'm convinced otherwise, I still want to see him play the same role in the preseason games, just to make sure. But I think he will. So, very bruise-free role. Not much to speak on Aaron Hall, and when you think about it, he probably should have been D1, except the only issue was he had a concussion game, and he had a sub game when he wasn't playing halfback. So yeah, amazing transformation from being borderline 22 to a nearly 30 possession player a game. So unbelievable. Aaron Hall is locked for me. The second defender I have is Jake Lloyd. So I'm not as optimistic on Jake Lloyd as probably others. I think a lot of people were saying, he had a slightly down year, probably should go back up this year. Maybe, but I think Sydney's play style has changed a little bit. They're using more speed out of the back half, less stop-start, as Sydney have been for many years. Might have been since Don Pike came in, I'm not too sure, but that's what it seemed like. I know they got Justin McInerney back there, Nick Blakey, a bit more speed off halfback now, so look, I expect Lloyd to take most of the kickouts again. Now Dawson's gone as well. So, look, I have Lloyd probably between 105 and 110, something like that. So, yeah, anything more would be a bonus. But I'm not expecting huge things, not like that 122. But nonetheless, you pick Lloyd. He's so safe, so durable. You're getting a top 6 defender. Paying a fair bit, unfortunately. But other than that, just pick it and be done with it. So the next defender at D3 I have is one Lockie Whitfield. So Whitfield, his ownership's very high. I think it's about 42% odd. Do you start him? It's going to be tough. I said on the podcast with Jaden and it's damned if you do, damned if you don't. There's it could be in trouble on either side, but seems the concussions are a real issue. He seems to get concussed really easily, but in terms of what I think he will score, I think 2019 he went about 110. 2020 probably would have gone 110 again. Just he had a concussion game, and then he went 92 in 2021, where he also had a concussion game and 0 preseason basically. Just did a bit of running leading up to his whenever he played. I think it would have been round 8, round 9, something like that. So what am I expecting from him? I fully expect 110. I think. That's what he went in 2019, would have gone in 2020 if when he had a full preseason, but obviously, as I said before, had an injury game in there. But yeah, chances are he probably gets hurt at some point, but did play every game in 2020. So look, no soft tissue history. I'm a bit more prepared to take these sort of risks if they're not soft tissue, but yeah, is it luck? Yes, but it seems to be reoccurrent, so yeah, it's a bit of a trend for Whitfield. But look, with a full preseason, I don't see how he doesn't go minimum 105. So he's their main offensive weapon. But yeah, Lockie Ash, I think they're moving him into the midfield. Isaac Cummings actually been pretty good back there, but he scored really well back with Heath Shaw and Zach Williams in the team. So I don't see why. I don't see like point sharing being an issue. Probably plays halfback and wing, but yeah, that's enough on Whitfield. Big fan of Lockie Whitfield, and can have those massive 160. I think he had a 190 game a few years ago, so big fan of Whitfield. So the next two, this used to be Jack Crisp at 4. I've had a bit of a change of heart. I'll speak about that when I get to him. But my next one is Jaden Short. And I've been tossing up between Short and Ridley, and I'll speak about them. I have them very much your 1A, 1B. So basically, Jaden Short is a 105 average without Hooley in the team. And if you go through the games in 2021, you look at Short's down games, Hooley scores really well in just about all of them, I think except one of them, where none of them scored well. So it's pretty much it. He's durable. He should have that role locked down. There were times I did see him start on a wing every now and then, but mostly halfback. And I think they need him off halfback. Dan Rioli might take a few kickouts off him, but it's nothing new. Hooley was taking him before. So I have him between, 102, 107, that sort of area. When you watch him, he loves the pill. He's always, asking for the ball. The only thing that annoys me about the Short pick is he didn't play well overall in 2021. So he only finished 7th in the best and fairest in a Tigers team, which were pretty terrible, especially in the back half of the year. So to finish 7th, play every game, a little concerning. I think it was more his kicking was a little off at times, especially through the middle of the ground, would turn it over a little bit, but maybe it was, the midfield's work rate wasn't good that, made it hard for him to hit targets in that sense, if that makes sense. So hopefully he improves, but I'm not too sure. But in terms of the eye test, wasn't great, but the role is perfect. The durability is perfect, just about. So has a lot going for him, Jaden Short, this year. The next one is Ridley, and I do love Ridley as a pick. I tweeted on Fantasy Take TV Twitter page, like that if you haven't. But Jake Kelly had an interview saying he's been working with Ridley, and I think John Syracuse must be a assistant coach to them, something like that. And he was basically saying that, we're working together, Jake Kelly and Ridley and the coach, to find a way where Ridley can be free and do whatever he wants. That was the words. I want to help, Ridley do what he wants to do. So that's quite a scary prospect, because when his intercept game gets going, it's unbelievable to watch. And I remember seeing it when he broke out a few years ago. I think I brought him in for 400k when he started at 260k. I was like, crap, I should have brought this guy in earlier. He just looked unbelievable. So putting in extra hours, doing some speed thing. I think a few other players have done that on Instagram. There's the speed project, I think it's called, where you try and increase your top speed. Just doing the extras. So look, pretty durable, not perfect durability, but pretty good. But huge fan of Ridley. So the only slight concern with Ridley is towards the back end of the year, his kickouts dropped a little bit compared to what they were in the first half of the year, especially the first few games. And we saw they were using Redmond a bit more with the kickouts, and even Hind took a few towards the end as well. So do they share that a bit more? That's not a great sign, but he won't get those defensive tasks against Toby Green and Papley. I think he had those in 2021. That made him score pretty poorly. So look, Short, Ridley, I still haven't figured out which one I want out of the two. I think I'll pick one. I don't know yet. So I guess I have Short here, so I guess it's Short at the moment, but we'll see what Ridley looks like in his new role. Not new role, but a bit more freed up. So huge fan of both. The next player I have is Jordan Dawson. So I have him over Jack Crisp, but with Jordan Dawson is playing, it sounds like they've said many times now, he is going to get inside midfield time, and it's a better role than halfback, and it always will be. So when I think of Dawson, I think of he has fantastic attributes. He developed a contested game a few years ago. Contested marking is unbelievable, really good. He can really punish opponents up forward doing that. But look, it is slightly on the speculative side, which makes me think it's probably wise to wait on Dawson unless you see him get huge inside mid minutes. But sounds like Seedsman's going to be out round one, so he might go back to the wing, which he scored well in anyway. So look, I expect the Crows to get the ball in his hands as much as possible, because our inside mids cannot kick at all. Most of them anyway. But yeah, I guess when you're inside, it is a little harder because you got to rush it a bit more. So look, they want to get the ball in Dawson's hands. They'll feed him the ball heaps. See how he goes in the preseason. But there is a slight risk. Maybe he plays half forward at times. I'm not too sure, which is not good. And he's probably stuck in that 80s average somewhere if he's in that role. But I really doubt it. All I've heard is midfield. So I think one mention of Nick's last year about possibly half forward. But yeah, I think he's going to play midfield. I think he's going to score well, but just want to make sure, let him settle into the role. Look at him after, I think, but I'm tempted by it. So the next player I have is Jack Crisp. Definitely a little low to have him at 7. Respect his game, impeccable durability, the best durability in the game. My only query with Crisp is there's a new coach and his role sometimes changes. So we saw under Buckley and Harvey, Pies were just stuffing around with the ball a lot through the middle of the ground, and they did that for years, and it worked pretty well. They beat Richmond doing it a few years back in the prelim, I think. Oh, was it the prelim? Something like that. So, well, that's my observation anyway. But look, Crisp, he had a career year. Does he top it? I'm not too sure. But yeah, he's a solid player. Scores better off half-back, and now they got Pendlebury going at half-back, and apparently Dacos is going to go half-back. I don't think that's going to last too long, but Dacos going back there. Apparently Quain has been really good in the preseason. So what does that look like under the new coach? It's one I just like very much with Dawson. Probably wise to just wait and see on Jack Crisp. So look, fully expect him to go 100 plus again, but yeah, not 100% sure what to expect from him. So for that reason, I think the other picks have a bit more security. I sort of know what Jaden Short is. I know what Lloyd is. I know what Hall is. Know what Whitfield is for the most part. Whereas Crisp, just not too sure. And when I'm not too sure, I'll think about the pick a bit in a lesser way, if that makes sense. So, but nonetheless, perfectly fine if you want to start him. It's just I think there's other options that just I have a bit more understanding of. And then the final one I have is Daniel Rich. So Tom Stewart is left out because of his preseason. Apparently, not 100% over that foot just yet, but I've heard nothing on Tom Stewart. So Tom Stewart, fully fit, probably 4th behind Whitfield, just because of Whitfield's ceiling. But nonetheless, Daniel Rich, look, Birchall's gone out. Does he get even more kick-ins and get even better? I know they're training Kadeen Coleman back there. I think they've got Answorth back there coming back, but probably plays more lockdown. A few other guys. So look, Rich is the main guy. To have a career year at, what is he, 31, 32, pretty strange. So, but at the halfback role, it's a little bit easier to peak at that role in your probably early 30s than it is as a midfielder in your early 30s. Almost impossible, really. So, not much else to say on Daniel Rich. You have to respect his game, but what's going to happen is we're all going to ignore him again. He could easily be top 3 again, but it's just very much, it's just age. That's pretty much the only reason. So, yeah, I don't think many people will start with Rich because of his durability is not perfect, but was for a long time. So, nonetheless, those are my top 8. Let me know what you think. Obviously, if I'm running 4 defenders, you can see from this who I'm running. But nonetheless, yeah, big call on the Whitfield pick because all these guys, well, not so much Rich, but all these guys have pretty immense durability except Whitfield. So it's an interesting one. But yeah, thanks for watching the video. Let me know what you think, and we'll see you guys in the next video, which will be midfielders ranked.